What's up, everybody? I am just in the shop today, messing around a little bit. What I'm messing with right now is the PCV hose for LS1 for like the Firebirds and Camaros and stuff like that. I'm gonna show y'all how to kind of freshen it up and rebuild it, because these things are about $100 new. So I mean, if you just got to replace a couple rubber pieces on it, you know, this stuff normally doesn't go bad unless it's collapsed or cracked. But I took the sleeves off and checked all that. That all looked good. So I'll have to run to the parts store in a little bit and get some stuff. But this is basically how it is. This is the intake side over here. This is what goes right by the throttle body. Then it goes around the passenger side. This spot clips onto the intake, on the side of the intake. It comes around. This goes to the passenger side valve cover. And then it Y's into here. It has this little Y piece. Mine was busted, so that's why I kind of started looking into how to redo this and everything, and kind of get an idea of what I'm going to do. But this Y is into one, and then this goes to the driver's side valve cover on the rear over here. So what I just got finished doing was, in here is actually a PCV valve as well, right at the throttle body, and it just pulls out of this boot. You want to be careful pulling this out and kind of get a grip on the top there so you're not pulling on the hose, because right here is a weak spot. But so I pulled the PCV out and I cleaned it all out with some brake cleaner, because you know, you get a little bit of oil in here. And I cleaned out all the hoses with some brake cleaner. I shot some in there and plugged up each on my finger, shook it around, got a bunch of that crap out of there. Let's see if y'all can see any how brown that is in there. But took the PCV valve out, cleaned it out, and it seemed good, so I put it back in. And one extra little length I went to, it's normally just seals in this boot right here. It normally just pushes in and seals, but I put silicone around the top edge and also around this ground here, because that's just the point it could leak if this boot's not very tight on the PCV valve anymore, because it's just old and used. So I sealed up the top, sealed up that, and so that should seal that up a lot more, especially since we're going boosted with this thing. I don't want nothing going wrong there. Eventually I will go to like a Mighty Mouse catch can or something and do some AN fittings on the valve cover. And but this is just something for now that I can do that'll work. It'll be nice and easy. But so yeah, that's I got that front end all sealed up. Now I need to run to the parts store. I need to see what size this is. Run to the parts store, and what I'm gonna do is get a little chunk of hose, and then get a Y fitting, little chunk of hose, and then put little clamps on it or zip ties or something, and just make a little Y with some rubber hose there, so that'd be easily serviceable later on. And then this boot right here was cracked as well. That goes to the passenger side valve cover. So I'm just going to take this off and do a little bit of hose right there, and then I'll clamp it onto the passenger side valve cover. And then over here, this just pushes in to the driver's side valve cover on the rear. So I cleaned all these hoses out though, and this just pushes in. I'll make sure that it seals good on that little deal. I may even put some silicone right here so it just seals down on that little grommet on the valve cover. So I'm gonna have to run to the parts store and get a couple little things, and then I'll get on with the rest of it. Alright, so I got the vacuum hose on here. Got those pieces. Still got to get a Y for this, just to grab those two sides together. This will go to the passenger side valve cover. This will go to the throttle body, or right behind the throttle body on the intake. And then a Y right here to connect these, and then that'll go to the driver's side.
But it was a huge national story.
So I thought I would just clarify this up a little bit. This is how it actually sits in the car. This hose is on top. I just had it sat to the side so y'all could see it. But when you put your T together and everything, they sit on top of each other like this, and this points down into the valve cover, just so you got all your clocking right for that. So there it is. I got this Y. It was a pain in the butt to find. I mean, you think it'd be something simple to find a 3/8 Y fitting instead of a T, but what I went through going to get that is I stopped at O'Reilly's, they didn't have it. Went to Harbor Freight, they didn't have it. Ace Hardware didn't have it. And then I went to Napa, or actually I just looked it up online, and Napa had it right here. They only had this at one store by my shop in Oklahoma City. They only had 5 of them in the whole state, and they were at a store right by my shop. But that's the part number there, 2638. So just to make it any easier on any of y'all that are watching this, trying to find this, I mean, most Napas have it. I mean, just depends on what Napa and where you're at. But so that's the Y there. I got these clamps here at O'Reilly's while I was there. It's 55-173, and I'm going to use those for all my boost vacuum lines and everything, and they're pretty nice. All the little pinch clamps and everything. I believe this is the side that are going to be on my turbo reference stuff. So, and it's 5 of them in there, so that's the perfect amount for what's going to the vacuum distribution block I'm putting on there. But yeah, so I got those clamps, so that should make it nice and clean. And there it is. It points up a little bit higher, but whenever you get it in the car, you can manipulate it around some and get it on there. So there it is.